Everybody, we are here today at We Caribe Wapin on already this new program where we can definitely exercise with Creole, we can exercise with Spanglish and everything that we have in our community and in our culture. So today I am so happy. And this podcast program we have today, a general, all right, a soldier in the industry of reggae music, our own artist, reggae artist, Jahricio. Jahricio, blessed love.
Bless hello, bless
Listen,
velvet.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. Listen, Jahricio, we're going to jump right into it because I know that you have been an artist that has been around for a while. But plenty of us see Jahricio all over the place and work with several artists. But how much do we know about the man? How much do we know about the industry? How much do we know about your artistry and what is your inspiration? So we'll start with the first question, yes?
All right.
The journey and the identity, Jahricio. Please tell us, take us back to the beginning. What inspired you into your music and how did your roots shape your sound, my brother?
All right. Well, thank you again for the invitation. Wapin, Caribe. So, yes, been doing this music for a minute now, for officially since 2005, when I was featured on a compilation named Radicales Cuatro, Radicales 4, which was a collection of compilation of various artists with all the best reggae artists in that time, which included Tapong, Manton and Ghetto, um, several artists, all the best artists in Costa Rica. So they had different chapters, and I was invited to be part of chapter 4. But prior than that, from the beginning, I was just a bass player. I used to play bass before I sing. I used to play bass, and I was self-taught, practice a lot, and listen and learn little by little, step by step. And when I first moved to Puerto Viejo when I was 18, back in '98, I met different musicians in the town and learned about open jam in Puerto Viejo. Our friend Charlie used to keep our open jam. I think he's still doing it every Wednesday, but it used to be Sunset Reggae Bar, which is by the bus stop next door to Roli Restaurant. Everybody knows nowadays. And Antigua Mangoes, if people remember Mangoes too. So we used to have Wednesday of open jam. Charlie used to have drum, microphone, speaker, instruments, and you just write up your name. So I used to call you in BS Mauricio, because they never call me Jahricio yet. Mauricio or such and such in drum and such in. So every Wednesday we was looking forward to come in because we had access to live instruments. We had access to drum and speakers and microphones and guitars and bass. Sometimes it was hard for us to get that back in the day. So a lot of regents, ones and ones, like Mateo, Trinity, God bless him soul, Salomon, Memo, God bless him soul. You had mans like sometimes you see Kike Daddy, God bless him soul too, Risas, different singers and artists, and surprise people, tourists that will come and play different instruments too, right? So it was fun. Those days were fun. Every Wednesday we was going out and play, and since then we never stopped. And little by little, start singing.
No, you mentioned bass player. This takes me right away to musician. So the people need to know that not only do you write and produce music, which we're going to get into producing music, but basically what you're saying is you started as a musician.
Yeah.
So you're a true musician at heart.
Yes, I play bass, which was my first love in music. Play guitar, I play some keyboards, I play percussion, and this and that.
Well, you know, hear that? The man play all kind of thing.
This and
So
that.
when we see Jahricio up on stage and people seeing your music, them have to know, say, you are a true musician, which makes a difference in the music. Tell us about your love for reggae music. Was it always, when you started in the music, since you was a musician, was it always into the reggae arena or the reggae genre?
Well, I grew up my mother listened to a lot of rock and roll, like classic rock and roll, like like the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and whatnot, all of them styles. So I grew up listening to that music, but then probably I would say in my teenage years with my friends in El Barrio, we used to exchange music and cassettes. And if you're lucky at CD cards, them days a CD is like wow.
Cassette.
A cassette, it's just yeah, and yeah, I would say around when I was probably 14, 15, start listening to the Bob Marleys and the Gregory Isaacs and the Steel Pulse and the Gladiators and this and that and this and that. And start, but not only that, we used to listen ska music, a lot of ska, and we learned about ska from the original ska, which was from Jamaica back in what, the 60s, something like that. And it's Jamaican traditional ska music, which is a
Right.
more of a jazz, a lot of saxophones and trombones and this and. And through my love of bass, ska music had a lot of bass lines, very jazz-like bass playing. So get to listen ska, rocksteady, and eventually reggae. It's like so the whole roots of the music was there. And then dancehall was the hot music at the time, right? The
Right.
90s, we're talking about 90s. So
Right.
dancehall was the latest. That was the latest.
Mm-hmm.
So, high school parties, the dance, the prom nights, all of that was dancehall parties, So,
Wow.
And then you have, in San Jose, you have this famous host, Mario McGregor, God bless him soul. Mario McGregor used to have Pólvora Musical del Caribe. So I was a reggae show on radio FM, so tropical, yeah, that was like you listen to all the latest music. At least for me, that was my window of listening reggae music. So the love of reggae has been there since my teenage years, and then when come to Puerto Viejo, start living that vibe. Like I
Right.
said, because looking forward for the Wednesdays, so you're learning the songs and hang out with my brethren like Rasaiman, Buki G, Ras Dennis, and them was listening to the music too. So that
Wow.
was part of it.
Now, tell me something, your evolution from and your growth through the years as far as musically and personally. From then to now, in this program, we have to touch subjects that is taboo. We have to go deep into the thing because the reality, no. Here in Walaba, here in Limon, here we have this, what we call panya, right? Or a panya man, right? Yes, man, we have to talk the thing, or we talk. We have this panya man into the industry. It might come into the reggae, it might come into the dancehall arena and all them something there. And most of the artists, them,
Right.
were Afro Costa Rican artists, or maybe some from other places, Panama and all kind of other
Right.
places.
Right.
Please be honest and candid and tell us about your journey personally and musically. Then to transition into now as someone who is non-Afro in an industry dominated by Afro Costa Ricans here in our communities.
Right. Yeah. I'm not gonna say I was a trendsetter because you had man like Tapong was doing very good in those days. I mean, he's from San Jose, Panama from San Jose.
Panama from San Jose.
Right. But I understand what you mean because you had a man like Bantan and Ghetto, Raga by Roots, all the man them in them days.
Right.
Even Johnny Man Mecatelio. But yeah, it was a thing, and I think that the difference that I had with different artists in San Jose at that time was that I was living the culture here in Puerto Viejo while I was here, because the brethren I was living amongst, which are bigger men for me, right? Elders for me, right? Like Rasaiman and Brethren Bukiji and Ras Dennis, otherwise known as Pale. So we was getting, I was getting a lot of culture in those days with them, and learning the levity or the lifestyle with them, right? So that was before I was a singer, like I said, I was a musician and I was just soaking in all of that levity. And then within the Rasta culture and all of that, a lot of that come in too, that's what I mean. The levity, the lifestyle, estilo de vida. So yeah, I learned all of that, and it was like a parallel thing, the music growth, and then the cultural, spiritual, what you want to call it, growth within those years. Late '90s, early 2000s.
Was there any, because I want to get down to the meat of the thing. Did you experience any difficulty socially trying to transcend into the industry dominated by mostly Afro-Costa Ricans?
No.
And what about when you started to transition into now being an artist, a singer, a writer?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I actually didn't see no obstacle in that way, like problems or people looking at me with a side eye or something like that. No, I never see that. And then when I start singing, which was a different time, a different era, the industry, the Costa Rican industry, saw me as who I am. It is the Rasta in the Costa Rica reggae industry, right? Because you have all these dancehall artists, Toledo, and the Bantananguetos, Tapon, and such. You even had Christian artists too, like Christian gospel reggae going on, like Soldado. Eventually, Tapon was Christian as well. But I was that Rasta, and that's actually how I got approached on this Radicales project, because I was like the new artist, and eventually, look, he's Rasta and he's singing certain songs, like like how certain Rasta artists will be singing, like what we look up to, like the Buju Bantans and the Sislas and the Kepletans of the world, right? Like all these artists in them times. So no, I didn't. No, that was actually the highlight, if you want to say, in the industry.
Right.
So no, I never.
And I love to hear that, because I do know that for some of us, including myself, we do strongly hold on to many of the different Rasta principles and hold on to it in order to have a liberty that's righteous, correct? And would you say that, as you're saying, that had a lot to do with the acceptance, the liberty of the spirituality of acceptance and equal love, right, and peace amongst the brethren and sidrens.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. I would be remiss, Jahricio, to not get into, okay, so you're musician, you transition into start, singing. But something very important happened. How many years were you now singing before you started producing? Because you're one of the only artists that I know with a longevity in the industry, successfully so, many hits. And now you're producing for many artists. Tell us about when it started, how long you're doing it. And I would be remiss for you to not tell us about some of the big names that you've worked with.
Okay. The production was basically part of the same musical growth. It's always been within that same Rasta mentality. The great Marcus Garvey says self-reliance is the key, right? So you got to do your own jobs, create your own things, right? And back in those days, to get a studio time was really hard. It's like producer's supposed to take you, or you're supposed to have, certain contacts and even certain monies to be able to spend studio time. And then whenever you get to the actual studio, right, you find yourself working with engineers, which great engineers, but they're not really know about reggae or Caribbean music, right? They work. Well, Caribbean music is salsa, but it's a different format, right? Salsa genre, the format, the sound, the way how you want the bass and the
vibe,
the dub, the effects and this and that. Or rock music, which is completely opposite of the reggae timing. Reggae is kind of, for those type of traditional musicians, it could be weird or backwards, or it's a different type of music, the actual reggae one drop. So we pay in this studio time, and we get to the studio, and we're trying to record and trying to work with this expert, right, which is the engineer that we pay in the studio time. Get to find out the engineer is really not knowing what to do, because it's something alien, something different than what he's used to. So I was like, man, if we can't get our own studio, we have to create our own studio, create our own production, that same self-reliance mentality. So I get to educate myself in music production, trying to fill that gap, right? So we don't have to be going through those problems. And that was pretty much 20 years ago, but I never really started practicing the production until down the road, like actually fully doing that, and that was, I would say, um, yeah, right before or during COVID is when I make the decision that, you know what, I'm gonna take this production game and get serious with it and start do it, because you know.
Wow.
And so the last 5 years, I officially launched the Fire Lion Music label,
Mm-hmm.
which is based here in Puerto Viejo. Um, Nowadays, I'm working with my partner DJ Chris with Positive Studio. The studio is based in Hotel Maritza, here Puerto Viejo Centro, downtown Puerto Viejo. Yeah, we're doing a lot of productions, working with Costa Rican artists like Ghetto, Shell Dixon, Bantan, Steffi Davis, Ras Manuel,
Mm-hmm.
Abodija, which
Mike
is
Joseph, I know
Mike
as well.
Joseph, my good friend Mike Joseph from Limon. Um,
And you've worked with some of the heavy hitters in the industry, even though they're not seen or unseen. We're talking about elders. I know
yes,
you've worked
yes,
with all of them, Mateo,
yes, yeah.
Rasaiman,
Work with Mateo.
all the other
With his
musicians.
song, Mateo has a song named Rasta Lanza. We did a production for him. Um, we have Johnny Dredd as well, doing productions for Johnny Dredd. And then international artists, mentioning Johnny
Yes.
Dredd, we have man like Cedric Maitan of the Congos, which is a legend from the 70s in
Wow.
Jamaica. We have Gappy Ranks from England, Jamaica, England. Um, and several artists coming
Mm-hmm,
along,
mm-hmm. It's
but
amazing that in only 5 years you've done so many songs, so many different productions for so many people. Now, we do want to know, as far as how do we support your artistry? Where can we see you perform or follow you so that we know? Because you're all over the place. Jahricio, all over the place. And if you want good music, if you want good production, this is the man, Fire Lion Music. Tell the people about that,
yes,
please.
yes, yes. Well, like I said, Fireline Music is based in Puerto Viejo, right? So you can always come to the Caribbean and make music here with us. But as Fireline Music, that's it. As Jahricio, the artist, yeah, we perform everywhere, all and about Costa Rica, from Limon to Guanacaste, from San Carlos to Punta Arenas, east, west, north, and south.
Mm-hmm.
But also go international, Panama, Mexico, Chile,
Right.
Colombia. There's other places I've been before. So we do the movements. But yeah, you can follow my music in Spotify, Jahricio. Of course, you can follow me in social media, Instagram, Facebook. But
Right.
you can find Jahricio on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. So of course, by playing the music, watching the videos,
Mm-hmm.
following us in Spotify, and so you can see the latest lanzamientos, the latest releases, and all of that. So that's the best way you can support us,
Support
or
music.
even iTunes. You can buy music in iTunes, or you can just stream it. There's different ways, and of course, if you see the show, yeah, come through. Have a
Come
nice time.
through. Come through to We Caribe Wapping. And Jahricio, let me say something. I would not be a good Sidran if I don't let the people know, say, the man don't only produce music, him don't only sing, him don't only write. But you have a talent, you have you love, your clothing and your style is unique. And there's certain things about you that are so unique, self-reliance. You don't depend on nobody for your image. Please
Yeah.
tell the people about your image, because you wear some wicked hat them. And I
Okay.
want to know about the hat them, and the rest of my people, they want to know too. So tell
Yeah.
me about it. Don't be selfish, man.
No,
Tell me
no,
a
no,
thing,
no,
no?
no. I can tell you all about it. Well, it's a thing that we never really talk about. Before music, before singing, before production, before even playing bass, I used to be artesano. I used to be a craftsman. I used to sell artesanía.
Craftman.
The days of Parquecito and all those days back in the day. You
Yes.
know what I mean? So yeah, we used to work all them. The seeds, the bamboo
Mm-hmm.
necklace, and all all that stuff. Make
Yes.
the rasta belt. And then eventually I started learning to crochet and start work with the hats.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, true. I have a lot of hair and this and that. It's hard for me to get headwear.
Exactly.
So, learn to do the hat them and just do different styles and go with
Listen,
it.
where can we find the hats? I have one. I need more. Because especially for we Rastas and we people who have natural hair and depend on the natural thing, we have a lot of hair, you know. Those of us who have locks just
Yes. Well,
rolling down to the floor and the
we
knees.
have our size, you know, we have the extra
Yes,
large, the large, medium, small, and extra small, which is like the regular cap for a
right.
regular, you know, you
So
don't have
for
to,
all
you don't have
types.
locks, so, you know, so if you got short hair,
Mm-hmm.
if you got braids, you know, yes. So the brand name is as well Fire Lion, but this is Fire Lion Collection.
That's right. Fire
So,
Lion
so you got
Collection.
Fire Lion Music, Fire Lion Collection.
Wonderful.
The Fire Lion Collection, yeah, you can find me in Instagram likewise, and you can see the different models, Fire Lion Collection.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're coming up with more styles and different things, you know, and you can place your orders and get your customs.
That's what I love, the custom. Anybody
Yeah.
who know me knows me like customer, and nobody have on
Yeah, we
the
put
same
the
thing me have on. Also.
African prints and, you know,
Yes.
this and that, and, you know,
Well, you can get a little pink and purple in there.
like
Yes.
that, any style.
All right.
Even if you
Wonderful.
supply Stanley Gista will give you a style with that.
You hear it right there. If you have your football team and them kind of
Yeah,
something
you
there,
can put a red
the
and
man
black
can
or a
link you.
purple and white, and yes.
I love it. And Jahricio, you know we fast. I fast and I have to dig in. Love life, Jahricio, for all your fans, them and all those young ladies out there, so who going crazy for Jahricio when them they are perform and all the little groupies and things.
Hear you.
Tell the
yeah.
tell the ladies them how you feel about when it comes relationships. What do you have to say to your fans them
What I
out
feel
there that
about
love
relationship?
you?
No, well, you know, it's a king to a
Can
queen and
them
a
send
queen
you
to
them
a king.
number? You want them to message me your number so I can send them. You're
Yeah,
taking any
okay.
interview for girlfriend or little friend. Then make the people them know because some of them link me up already, you know.
All right, you taking care of all of that business. Contact my assistant here. And yes, all the beautiful ladies. Yes, you don't know. No, but yeah, in a serious matter, no, right now, I cool, you know. Yeah, you know, we went through the experience already and this and that, but as per today, you know, soltero, disponible, and
All right,
single
fine.
and
You hear it
available.
already. So send no letter, send no message,
Yeah.
send no number. Please have some sense into no head because we can't afford for the Rasta artists to get involved in no kind of foolishness. But to know already I'm available. And that is something they want to know. So I had to ask.
Okay.
Jahricio, your music is filled with, you're so versatile. I mean, from dancehall, you have a little romanticism in some of your songs, then you have something for the ladies, for the youth, for the elders.
Mhm.
What is the inspiration for your song and how does it ingrain in your spirituality? Because that's also transcends in your
Yeah.
music, the consciousness.
Right.
Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, the source of inspiration is life. Of course, the source of inspiration is the Most High as well, which is the life giver, right?
Yes.
So life and the experiences of life, that's the main source of inspiration, you know? So I always try to keep a positive message, also a righteous message, a conscious message, a message of upliftment, of self-love, you know thyself, love thyself, educate thyself, and, you know, believe in thyself, you know what I mean? And you can accomplish everything.
Wonderful.
So, you know, I always tell the youth them, you know, anything you want to do, you can just believe in yourself, you know, if you just gotta just be, you know, determined, and, you know, don't be no bad mind or malaviura or serrucha pizza, we call it, right? We don't want that, because that's gonna give you bad energy and bad vibe down the line. So we think about all those things, you know, we just try to bring the wisdom out there, you know, that we learn from the elders and that we
Yes.
learn from the books and stuff like that, right? So yeah.
And that was my next question, which you gave, you know, the people, which was, what words would you have for the youth, especially, let's say, upcoming artists? And most importantly, when you answer that, tell us a little bit of what you, Jahricio, in your experience, because you're a veteran in this, you're not new at this. Do you feel like Costa Rica music industry could use right now?
Well, on the first part of the question, yes, it's just, and not just aspiring artists. You could be a football player, and this message will be the same. You could be a fisherman, or learning to be a doctor, or, you know, architect or engineer. Is that just believe in yourself? People will say, "What, you want to do this?" You know what I'm saying? It's like people would laugh at you. Well, but you want to be a TV host, you want to do a show, a podcast. No, but if you believe in yourself and you work with your team and this and that, you can accomplish a lot. So the key is to believe in yourself, creer en sí mismo, believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody's going to believe in you. So that's the first step, and just do what you gotta do, and stay conscious and determined, and forward ever, don't step back.
Absolutely.
And then within the industry,
Mm-hmm.
what falta? There's a lot of things that falta in the industry, because we're still fighting for support on like certain radio stations. We're still fighting for the support like on the mainstream
Mm-hmm.
type of thing, because they will play all this music from overseas, all this different, whether it be reggaeton or hip hop or pop music, which is back with all these labels. Most of Costa Rican artists is independent artists
Mm-hmm.
within this reggae music scene. You have some of the artists, you have some of the artists that newer artists that are being signed by labels,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of making a difference for them. Newer artists like the Marios and the Dakers and the Cabos, of course, of the world right now in Costa Rica. So they're getting that support. But in general, we just need more support, because sometimes within Costa Rica, it's hard for the audience to really know what's going on unless they are really engaging directly with you as an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I say is a follower of the artist, that they know when the new song's coming out, with that and that, which is great. We love that. But as what's missing in the industry is that a bit more of a support in the media, in the press, and be more, not just support just for support, just believe in the Costa Rican art. You know, um, a great example is our neighbors, Panama. If you go to Panama and you listen to the Panamanian radio station, you would definitely hear some Panamanian artists, and they will glorify that and blow it up. And it's been like that for years.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Costa Rica, it's cuesta. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have Radio Urbano, they do great, but all the different radio stations, if they would do what Radio Urbano's doing, I bet you
More
things would be very
support.
different.
Absolutely. Well, we love to get real on this program, and that's exactly why we have We Caribe Wapin. We want to know Wapin, what going on with the thing, and what really is not being said, what really is not being shown. One of them being our Lemonese Creole, which is why we made sure that we have that very much present, right? But we want to thank you for being here, Jahricio, and I would be remiss to let you go and not ask you who and what are you, and when I say who are you working with, and what projects are you working on right now? What can we go look for? Leon No Se Rinde is one of my favorites. I think is
That's a
an
classic.
anthem, is a
That's
classic.
a classic.
But you have so much work. So what can we be
Right.
looking forward to next? And what are you working on now, and with who?
Yes. Well, we have some projects. I've been working with Toledo, I forgot to mention. So alongside with Toledo, we have been doing some great works with artists like Anthony B and Teflon from Jamaica.
Wow.
But right now, actively, what we're doing is, well, as Jahricio, the artist, working on let's say an EP or a small album. Yeah, it's kind of an album because it's got 7 tracks.
Yes.
And I think we're scheduling it for July to go alongside Haile Selassie's birthday, July 23rd. So
Okay.
this is a project that I'm doing with a production label from California, Trinity Farm Music, and a production label from Spain, Goa Chant. So it's a very rootical, organic reggae album.
Okay.
Bit different of what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
When I say organic, it's live bands, live musician,
Oh, wow.
100% live bands,
Right.
musician. I believe the album's going to be called I and I Chant. That's what we were talking about. And the release date's going to be for July. 7 songs. So I have a
Wow.
song named Deja que la vibra fluya. I think that's going to be the latest single coming up.
Okay.
So June, por ahí, we're going to start see start make some noise about
Okay.
it. That's for Jahricio, the artist. And production, we just released the Feel Alright album, Feel Alright Rhythm, which did very good. Songs from Shell Dixon, Ghetto, Steffi Davis, Rasta Manuel, Mike Joseph.
Wonderful.
Myself had a song on it that did great. That just came out this month.
Okay.
Of April. And then we have a couple projects coming on production-wise. One named Mystical Rhythm, which also features artists from Costa Rica and Jamaica. We got Elijah Prophet from Jamaica, Ras Zachary from Jamaica, Mike Joseph, and I have a couple of new artists. One who's from here, from Puerto Viejo, call him Mr. Niceness. Regin Surfer Youth from, you can always see him in Couplet Surfing the Waves. Has a new song with us. So, try to support the new talents as well, the youth, the upcoming artists as well. So that's Mystical. We'll be planning to release that soon too. And we have more things coming up.
This
The
is
oven,
wonderful.
it's baking.
It's baking. So basically, we just need to know, say, follow Jahricio, the reggae artist.
Follow Jahricio, the reggae artist, Fire Lion Music, the label.
Absolutely.
Positive Studio, which is Puerto Viejo studio, Yes. And you can follow us and get all the new stuff.
Absolutely. We are definitely going to do that. We thank you guys for having this little time with us here with Jahricio, the artist. We get to dig in a little bit more about him, and we fast up into private life because we fast, we stay so. You understand? But it will not be the last time that you will be here, because hopefully after you release the project, we could have you here. Now, before you leave, I must let you know, our next project that we will be doing is we want to go ahead and have a live performance of some of these new music that these local artists are bringing out. And we hope that you will bless us on that day.
Just let me know. We'll set it up.
Of course. Please tell something to We Caribe Wapping fans and people them as we're going out today.
Yes, We Caribe, more love, respect and honors every time. And just remember, We Caribe no se rinde.
Hey.
We Caribe love sweet reggae music. In our yard. Yeah, more love.
That's
respect.
why we love it. More love, we don't know already. Blessed love. We Caribe, we out, man. All right.